All right, let's get straight to it. I'm going to share a belief I have, a conviction really, that a lot of people, maybe even some of you watching, are going to disagree with, and that's fine. But I truly believe that for many of us, especially ambitious guys in their late 20s and 30s, the traditional 9 to 5 career path is not just a job anymore. It's a trap. It's a system that's becoming riskier by the day. And I think at some point in our lifetimes, could be 10 years from now, could be 30, the whole concept of working for just one company for a classic 40-hour week, that's going to be a thing of the past for a huge chunk of the population. I see this because I've lived it. I spent years in the corporate world, climbing that ladder, and for a while it feels secure. You get that steady paycheck, you get the benefits, you think you're safe. But the reality is, you're just a line item on a spreadsheet. When times get tough, you're disposable. And that steady security you thought you had, it's an illusion. The real risk isn't starting your own thing. The real risk is putting 100% of your future in someone else's hands. Hey, by the way, for those of you who are new here, welcome to Business Letters. My name's not important, but I'm just a guy in my 40s from Florida who's been through the business ringer a few times. I've built things, I've failed at things, and now I'm here sharing what I've learned, hopefully so you guys can get where you're going a little faster than I did. And what I've learned, more than anything, is that the game has fundamentally changed from when our parents were working. See, the old model, the 9 to 5, was built for a different era, the era of the Industrial Revolution, where your value was directly tied to the hours you put in on an assembly line. More hours, more widgets, more value. It made sense. But today, for most of us, especially in the knowledge economy here in the States, that's completely broken. Your value is not about how long your butt is in a chair. It's about the problems you solve. Think about it. You could be the star employee at your company. You come up with an idea that saves them $1 million. What's your reward? A pat on the back, and if you're lucky, a 3% annual raise. You delivered $1 million in value, and you got a tiny fraction of that back. You're trading your time for a fixed, capped income. Meanwhile, a guy in his garage builds a simple piece of software that solves one specific problem for a niche industry. He's not trading time for money. He built an asset. He's providing value at scale, and his income isn't capped. That's the fundamental shift. The loyalty is gone too. The days of working 40 years for a gold watch and a pension, that's a ghost story. Companies will lay off 10,000 people over a Zoom call without blinking. So the idea of dedicating your entire professional life to one company just doesn't make sense anymore. So, how do you prepare? You don't just rage quit your job tomorrow. That's not a plan. That's a panic attack waiting to happen. No, you build an escape plan, and it starts with a mindset shift. Your 9 to 5 isn't your career anymore. It's your first client. It's your seed funding. It's the stable base you use to build your real business on the side. You stop seeing it as your identity and start seeing it as a tool. And while you're using that tool, you start building leverage. This is the key. First, you build skills leverage. That 9 to 5, it's a great place to learn on someone else's dime. Learn sales, learn project management, learn marketing, learn how to code, whatever. Pick up high-value skills that you can directly apply to your own venture later. Second, you build capital leverage. Instead of taking that paycheck and just increasing your lifestyle, nicer car, bigger apartment, you start funneling a portion of it into your own projects. That money is your rocket fuel. And third, you build audience leverage. The most powerful asset in the 21st century isn't a factory, it's a dedicated audience. Start a YouTube channel, a newsletter, a podcast about something you're passionate about or an expert in. You don't even need to sell anything at first. Just provide value, build trust, and create a community. That is an asset that no one can ever take from you. And here's the world I envision for guys like us. Imagine this. You wake up without an alarm. You check your project dashboard. You've got a couple of consulting clients. You spend a few hours on a coding project. You get it done by noon. Then you head to the gym. In the afternoon, you record a podcast or write your newsletter connecting with your audience. Before you know it, you've made $300, $500, maybe more, and you did it all on your own terms. No pointless meetings, no manager breathing down your neck. You're not being paid for being available from 9 to 5. You're being paid for the results you deliver. You have a few different income streams. You're not a millionaire overnight, but you have enough to live life on your own terms. You have freedom. You own your time. That's not a pipe dream. That's what work is becoming. It's about owning your time and getting paid directly for the value you create. Look, the 9 to 5 system isn't going to disappear tomorrow, but the cracks are showing and they're getting wider every single day. The people who will win in the next 10 to 20 years are the ones who start building their own platforms, their own skills, and their own assets today. So don't just dream about escaping. Start building your exit, piece by piece. My question for you is, what's one thing you're doing right now to build your own future outside of your main job? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. All right, guys, that's it from me. Get out there and start building. I'll see you in the next one.